Hi, hello. This is Dr. Dasaradha, your subject matter expert of the theory of computation. I am here to discuss with you very important topics which are related to the theory of computation course. And this content is going to be useful for the various competitive examinations. I'm going to specifically talk about today's session about the ISRO competitive examination and what are the weightage of this course in the examination and what are the topics to be focused and what are the better way to solve the questions in the theory of computation. I am the working professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I've been teaching this course since 15 years. Definitely my expertise in this field will help you to understand what are the very important topics to be focused for the examination and what are the best approach to solve the questions you can understand here. As I said, today we are going to be talk about what is the way to prepare for the course theory of computation for competitive examinations like ISRO. That is the major focus today. Just look at what kind of syllabus you need to be concentrated for competitive exam ISRO. If you look at here 2023 syllabus part, you have these all titles just like our GATE syllabus. You have the formal languages. There, regular language is the one concept, finite automata is another concept, and we have a context-free languages, and then pushdown automata, Turing machines, and decidability. So they are the major titles which you have to prepare from this particular course. Although we have other titles like a complexity theory that you no need to be concentrated, you have to be focused only on first part of the theory of computation, that is called formal language and automata theory, and little bit concept of complexity theory or computing theory you need to be discussed here. Just talk about what kind of weightage you can have in the examination. If you see the weightage of this course for any competitive examinations, you can say it's 8% to the 10% of weightage. If you see this courses here, last 5 to 6 years weightage of this particular subject has been presented. There you can see you have almost 8 to 9 marks in every exam. That is equivalent of 8% of your entire examination. That is the overall weightage of it. And if you see the further classification of the topics, if you look at the first topic called regular languages and automata, this is the one of the important topic where you can expect about the more number of questions. Usually the 50% of questions you can expect on this particular topic here. Here I just wanted to show you what kind of questions you can expect from here. Just for the formality's sake, I just providing you, this is very important topic. You can expect 50% of questions on this area, which means you can have here at least 4 questions, or you can say the 4 marks in these 2 titles. After that, you just wanted to have a look on these 4 titles. These titles will give you 30% of weightage for the examination. Later, you may definitely have the examination question from either undecidability concept, or else you can have the question on the Turing machines, or it's a recursive languages or recursively enumerable languages. But you can expect all the time the question on the undecidability concept or it's a decidability concept. This is what you can say another 20% of weightage you can give it to the last title here. So this is the distribution of marks among the titles. I suggest you focus majorly on the first 2 titles called finite automata system and regular languages. After that, you have to be work on the concept of pushdown automata and CFLs. Then rest of the story is completely on the theory questions. That all you can easily practice, but you have to work a little bit more on the titles called finite automata and pushdown automata title. Now, what I'm going to tell you now, very important secret of this particular course, what are the specific areas in detail you need to be focused for exam point of view. What are the kind of questions you can expect, or what are the areas of the course you need to be focused for the exam point of view? Here, you can understand two things here. As I given the titles, where to be focused, you just look at, definitely you need to understand all the fundamentals. You need to work on the basic fundamentals, or you can say there is a terminology, and you can say there is a terminology as well as the fundamentals of the theory of computation plays the important role. So that's why work on the operations of strings and languages. That's the first thing you have to do it. And then you have to identify what is the finite automata mechanism, especially identify the DFA concepts and what kind of languages my DFA can accept, what kind of strings a DFA can accept, what kind of strings are it is being rejected. So concept of the finite automata is going to be the one of the important area you have to understand. Especially you have to work on what are the languages they can accept, what are the languages they can reject. That is the one you need to be concentrated for exam point of view. After that, regular expression identities. In the case of regular languages, exam perspective, definite question would be on the regular expressions. So what you have to do here, you should start your regular expression concept with the simple identities. What is really important to identify the languages, they are the regular identities. So regular expression identities you need to be concentrated. Then also work on how to get a regular expression from a finite automata, or if there is a finite automata, how to derive a regular expression from it. So this is the topic you need to be concentrated. Definitely you can expect 1 or 2 questions on these particular topics what I am talking here. Later, this is the minimum state finite automata system. In the minimum state finite automata system, you can expect here, they ask you number of states you require to accept so and so language. So it is very much important identifying minimum number of states to accept any particular language. So that is the one more key area where you need to be focused for exam point of view. Later, come back to another important area of this course, that is identification of the languages. What you can have, there are set of languages with you, you need to be recognized what are the regular languages among the list. That is most frequently asking questions. They are the most frequently asking the questions. So that's the reason you need to be focused on the topic called identification of irregular languages among the given set of languages. That is the one topic. After that, just look into the another important thing, how to derive a strings from a context-free grammars, how to derive a languages from a context-free grammars. So that is the one more area. Later, identify whether a grammar is the ambiguous grammar or unambiguous grammars. And you also must identify whether that language is going to be the context-free language or not a context-free language. So that is the one you need to be work it out. Apart from all, it is very, very important for every formal language you need to concentrate on the closure properties. You need to be work on the closure properties such a way that what are the applicable properties of the regular languages, what are the applicable properties of the context-free languages, applicable properties of the regular sets, applicable properties of the recursive and recursively enumerable languages. For every formal language, you must have all the properties on the tips. Definitely one question will be on the properties of all formal languages that you need to be focused. Then it is very rarely they will ask here the questions on the differentiation between the deterministic pushdown automata and non-deterministic pushdown automata. Very rarely you can find it out for the competitive exam like ISRO, but otherwise it's fair enough to identify what are the kind of languages comes into the context-free languages or what not comes into the category of context-free languages. That is the only thing you have to be focused. Later, final topic I would say, undecidability concept is very, very important. There you can definitely have a one question here, right? So this is the simple topic list I have provided you, which will definitely will help you where you need to be emphasize more to, or here you need to be practice the more and more number of questions to crack the examination. Now what I'm going to do, I just going to provide you some of the simple questions. Then I try to give you some simple solutions how to identify the right answers for those kind of questions. I just wanted to share with you few tips, or you can say the few questions on each problem solving concept, so that it will help you to understand how quickly you can answer the questions, how simply you can answer the questions for them. Let's look into the questions now. This is what you can expect here. I'm just to share it with you. What are the kind of questions you can expect for the 2023? Just look at the first question here. Look at the first question here. This is the simple question which I framed on the basic concepts, or you can say the fundamentals of your theory of computation. What this says here? Let sigma equivalent to 0, 1. So this is the alphabet. Then the number of possible strings of length n is dash. So this is the question. You know the sigma is the input alphabet for us. This alphabet has got here only 2 symbols. How many number of possible strings of length n can be formed here? For this, you can say option A as a n factorial, option B n into n, option C n power n, and D is 2 power n. This is a simple question, right? So when you wanted to answer this kind of question, it's a very simple approach. You just identify what is the alphabet we have with us. Then you keep write what are the strings are available right from the length 0, length 1, length 2, length 3. Then you can generalize the concepts and then you can get the answer to that. Just look into this one here. As you've seen, sigma equivalent of here 0, 1. How many strings you can have of length 0? Let's look into the length 0 here. If you look at the length 0, you can have only one string called epsilon. Later, how many strings I can have a length 1? Length 1 I can have here just 0 or 1 here. What is the string of length 2 I can have? If you look at here, length 2, it can be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 here. If you look at this, you know, this is equivalent of only one string, that is 2 power 0, this is the 2 power 1, and you know, these are the 4, this is the 2 square, and similar way, length 3, if you consider, you know, you will be having about the 000, then 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. If you continue this way, this will give you all 3 1. Altogether, it's a 2 power 3 here. Now, question is here, how many strings are possible of length n? So, if you continue this story, then this is going to give you 2 power n here. Now, the right answer of this question, you can easily say that is going to be like a D. So, that's what the answer for us, right? So, you can see D is the correct answer of this. Now, you have to generalize the same question here. How to generalize this mechanism? This is very simple. If you have 2 symbols, my string of length n is always 2 power n here. Instead of being 2 symbols, if you have 3 symbols, this is going to be a 3 power n here. Instead of having 3 symbols here, if you have here suppose m symbols, then you require here m power n number of strings of length n. So whenever you solve any question, you need to generalize it and then derive some fixed formula, so that for the memory based questions, these mechanisms you can directly apply and then get the answers. So what is the point I'm trying to tell you? Whenever you have such a question, the question is not this 2 power n here. The question is saying about how many number of symbols I have within the alphabet. Then what is the length of the string you are targeting? That is going to be derived altogether how many number of such strings are possible here. So if there are m symbols in this sigma, the possible number of strings of length n is exactly equivalent of m power n here. So that is the way to prepare for the examination. Once you solve the question, you try to derive some kind of conclusions on these questions. Similar way, let's come back to the one more question on the fundamentals. That is going to be very much helpful for you to answer. Just look into this question here. Look at this question. How many substrings, in bracket he clearly mentioned that non-zero. Usually we can start strings right from the epsilon, but he is mentioning that you shouldn't consider here any epsilon. You have to write only the non-zero strings here. How many substrings can be formed from a character string of length n contains different symbols. So what is the answer? Option A, we have it's a n. Option B, we have n square. Option C, it is a 2 power n. And option D, it is a n into n plus 1 by 2. So this is the options what we have provided. Then we have to pick what is the right answer of it. It has to be provided here, right answer. What is the question here? You need to figure it out how many substrings I have to form, right? For a string, which length is equivalent of n? But he also mentioned that string length is n, it's fine. But also he mentioned that although it is a length n, but your string has got here different symbols. Everything related to the question is here clearly mentioned. There is no ambiguity in a question at all, right? So I hope your guys can give the right answer for this one. This is absolutely going to be equivalent of D, that is n into n plus 1 by 2. So this is the answer. Why this is correct answer? Why D is correct answer? Why not something called here A or B or C or D? Just see what is the way to get the answer to this. As you have seen, as for the statement, W, that is the string, has different symbols. W has got here different symbols. What those different symbols here? It's a ABC, right? I have taken here. What are the substrings? Substring is a part of the string, right? It is a part of the string, inclusive same string. That should be continuous symbols combination. Every substring of a W is a combination of symbols with the continuous symbols. You just take it, what are the length 1 substrings of this one here? If you look at length 1 will give you only A, or else I can have a B, or else you can have a C. They are the 3. Then if I take a length 2 substrings, I can have a AB, this is the 1 substring, or else you can have a BC. And this is another one. How many substrings you can have here? Length 3. Same string itself, you would say here A, B, C itself is a substring here. Now you just look at, I have here, these are the 3, these are the 2, these are the 1. Altogether this is equivalent of just 6 symbols. So we got here 6 substrings here. Now you have to look at the right answer here. This is n into n plus 1 by 2, right? That is absolutely right answer. Now the question is, instead of asking this statement as a different symbols, string is containing the different symbols here. Instead of asking like that, you would have asked, suppose the question as how many substrings are possible of length n, right? If that is the question, you will not get here any one of the right answer exactly here. You will not get the exact answer from these 4 set options. Because the question is weakly formed, you no need to have your unique answer, you can have your different answers for it. That you will definitely get because of the certain examples. For example, you have a W is equal to just A. Just take it. What is the length of the string? This length is equivalent of absolutely 3. This is equivalent of 3. Then what kind of substrings I can have it? You can have from this, A can be one substring, AA can be another substring, and AAA can be another substring. So altogether you got here just 3 strings, right? I cannot have here 6. I cannot have a 6 here. I can have only just 3. Here This is not the right answer. N into n plus 1 by 2 is not the correct answer for that. So that is going to give you just exactly n values. Instead of that, if you have taken, suppose there are say different combination of symbols over there, you will not get even either this or this. It will be something else. So the question, whatever they're asking in the examination, 99% of the times it's more accurate. There wouldn't be any kind of ambiguity in the statements. So that's why you clearly look at the problem statement and try to understand what they're asking. Then you proceed for the final answer selections. And another point also you should notice here. Just look at this, non-zero. Usually our count always start from the epsilon. If this sentence is not used in the problem statement, you would start your numbering from the length 0. It's a epsilon, right? It would be the epsilon first. After that length 1, after that length 2, length 3, all of them will come like this, right? So the question itself is clearly mentioned that you kindly take non-zero numbers. So that's the reason you are getting here this answer as a D, which is n into n plus 1 by 2. So the right answer you got here, this is a D. That's why my suggestion to all of you, it's very, very important for every individuals. Try to read the question carefully, identify what is the statements is being asking, and look for your exact answers. So there would not be any kind of ambiguity in the statements at all. Now let's back to the one more question on the concept of fundamentals of theory of computation. So this model is more frequently asking model. We have the language with us, that is the L. L is defined on the alphabet called AB, and this is the question on the language operations. This question is on completely on language operations. Let's see what is the problem statement here. Problem statement, you have a language L and is looking for which of the following strings are in L star, right? Which of the following strings are in L star? What is L star? L star is representing clean closure operation of the L. L star is representing clean closure. So when you do the clean closure for this L set, what strings you can have it in the L star, what strings you cannot have it in the L star. What I mentioned here is, see, there are 4 choices has given, like 1, 2, 3, 4 has been given to us. We have to identify which strings I can have it in the L star and which strings you cannot have. So we have to identify which strings are in the L star. So option A is 1, 2 and 3. Option B 2, 3 and 4. C is 1, 2 and 4. And D is 1, 3 and 4. What is asking here? What are the strings of this 4 can be present in L star? The point you have to understand here, this question is clearly on fundamental operation called clean closure operation. You need to understand what you mean by clean closure. This is very simple to define. Suppose a string, whatever you have here, is built with strings of the L, it is always part of L star. It is always part of L star. If suppose you fail to build any of the string using only L values, you can use here any order. You can use the first string, second string, third string, any order, doesn't matter. But ultimately I need to be forming my string with only L combination, right? So that's why if you wanted to say something is a part of the L, it's a very simple to tell you here what strings you can frame using the L values, what strings you cannot frame using the L values. That is the matter here. Just look into this one here, what are the things I can form here. See the one. What are those? This is the first string I'm looking here. A, B, A, A, B, A, and BAA. So we have here 3. Just looking for this. And BAA it is, after that AB it is, after that AA it is. So if you look at all this, definitely first one I can have it from the L values. So it is a part of L star now. It is a part of L star. So if you look at my answers, now answer is between A, C, D. Then go to the second one. Can I have the second one? Can you have second one? Yes, you can have a second one, A, and B, and then A. Yes, you can also have the second one. Yes, you can also have the 1 and 2 is also there here. And what about the third? Can you frame the third one using the L values? That is also checked out. So you know BAA here and AA here, AB here, or else you can also take AA. I just take suppose AA here, and then AB here. Even you can also have here ABC. So 1 to 3 also I can have it here. Then finally you check here, what about the fourth one? Can I have the A? So suppose if you take a BAA, after that it's a AA, after that it's a AA, but this will never be obtained from the L values. So this you cannot frame it, but you can frame here 1, 2, 3 strings from the L values. That's the reason you will say here A is absolutely right answer of this. It's absolutely right answer of it. So finally the right answer is only A. These are the kind of questions you can anticipate in examination on fundamentals. These questions are completely framed on the fundamentals, nothing more than that. Later, just look into the next possible questions on the finite automata concept. When you look into the finite automata concept here, this model is a very, very important model for exam point of view. Why this model very important means, if you see any competitive examination, this is the most frequently asking questions. I've been seeing about many competition examinations, they'll give the automata and then asking for the language recognized by this automata system. Or sometimes it is going to be like a reverse order. They will give you the language name and then automata will be provided as options. You need to be identify here which automata can exactly recognize the L values. So you can have here both the versions. This is the most frequently asking version here. What is this says? This is a DFA machine for us. Alright, this is a DFA machine for us. In this DFA machine, you identify what is the language it can be recognized. What is the basic definition for recognition? When I apply strings of a language, I must terminate at a final state. For every member of a language, I must terminate at a final state. And I must reject every string which is not a part of the language. So there are two things here. One thing is every string whatever you have in a language must be accepted, and every string which is presented in the complementation must be rejected by it. So it should satisfy both the conditions. Accepting of members of L is not enough here. Rejection of L dash value is also much more important. So accepting L values are important and rejection of L dash value is also very, very important. So now you just look at this. What I mentioned, option A, you have a 1. That is every A in a W, if you look at here, every A in a W is followed by exactly 2 B's. That's what the statement, right? Exactly 2 B's. And similar way, if you look at here, second one, every A in a W is followed by at least 2 B's. At least 2 B's. So that's how you have to understand. Then E says that option 3 may W contains substring as a ABB. That's what the option 3. Option 4, E says W does not contain AA as a substring. Right? So now it is a time for you take break for the 2 minutes, then work it on the solutions and produce the right answer. I will answer you this solution after the small break. welcome back. So now just look at each option. Why option A, option B, option C, option D not correct, or what is correct among all these. So that is the one you have to check it out. Now I just tell you one simple thing. Whenever you're looking for answer these kind of questions, best approach, suspect every option seems to be wrong. You have to work such a way that option A is not correct, option B is not correct, option C not correct. So you must have an approach such a way every option seems to be proven as a not correct. Whatever you are failed to prove it's not correct, right? So that is going to be the right answer. Don't take it as a granted A correct, B correct, C correct. And moreover, whenever it's a minimum state DFA, you will be having only one answer. It's even though it's a multiple selection answers, you will not get your multiple answers for the same question. You will be having only one answer for it. So that's why whenever you want to answer such a question, so I'm just suggesting you suspect every option. Option A seems to be wrong, option B seems to be wrong. That is the approach you need to be provided here. Just come to the option A. What are you looking here? Every A in a W is followed by exactly 2 B's. For example, if I take this one here, exactly 2 B's. This is the one you mentioned, yes, A followed by 2 B's. Yeah, you are reaching exactly 2. If I put a 3 B's, still you are terminating at final state, right? Still you are terminating at final state, right? So that's why this statement I cannot take it as a granted. Reason is, he mentioning that exactly it's a 2 B's. That's why it's failed. And every A in a W is followed by at least 2 B's. Yeah, that's correct, at least 2 B's. For example, if I given you A is equal to AB, that will never go to the final state here. A after, you must have here at least 2 B's. That's what the statement he mentioned. So that's why this can be one of the possible or potential solution. After that, come to the third option. What is the third option says, whether it's going to be the correct one or not correct one. Let's see. W contains substring ABB. Whenever it's a substring, this particular string can be anywhere in the given string. It can be the beginning or it can be end. ABB is the string should be presented in the given string. Then it mentioning that everywhere it's going to be accepted here. Let's take one example. You have a W is equal to A, B, B, then A. I can take, this is the one of the string as for the problem statement 3 or as for the option number 3. But whether it's accepting, that you have to check it. When you go here, A followed by double B, you will come here. After that, one more A will come back to this place. So this will not be accepted. As for the statement number 3, you mentioned all the strings which are containing the substring like A, B, B is accepting, but that is false statement. This is fail. Come back to the third one, fourth one here. Fourth one, W does not contains AA as a substring. Is asking for here, W does not contains. What is the meaning of it? If AA is not a part of a W, this will accept. If AA doesn't have anywhere in a language or in the string, this is being accepted by this machine. That is the statement has been provided to us. But in fact, is it true? That you have to check it. Is it accepting all the strings where you don't have your AA substring? That you have to check it. For example, if this is the true statement, what you can prove, it should accept here ABA. ABA is the one of the string where you don't have the AA substring. Or else A itself is a one string which doesn't containing AA here. So this is also fail, this is also fail. As for the problem statement, or you can say as for the option number 4, they all are part of the language. All they are the part of the language. This is also part of the language, this is also part of the language, but it's not being accepted. That is why 4 is failed. That is the reason 4 has been failed here. So you just look at always when you go through this diagram, you will just get confused because whenever I give you AA, it will go to this dead state. Definitely, this trap state is going to be accept all the strings which have a AA anywhere in a W. That's the reason majority of you may be interested to select the option 4. But in fact, it's not true. So that's the reason I'm suggesting you never ever look into take it as a granted because of the one string. Yeah, it has been rejected. That's the reason I have to put it here. Not like that. You have to look into the two parts. Ensure L members should be accepted and L dash members must be rejected. So that is the only criteria you must be used here to get the answers. Then come on. Then next go back to the this question here. This is like a MSA, multiple selection answer question. So this is the commonly asking question in the GATE examination. But you can expect here similar model questions also for every kind of examinations. Let's see the problem statement. Which one of the following regular expression over 0, 1 denotes set of all strings not contains 1, 0, 0 as a substring? 1, 0, 0 as substring. Remember, containing substring is a different story, but is asking for here what is the regular expression can produce all the strings which doesn't contains, right, which doesn't contains 1, 0, 0 as a substring. So that is the problem statement here. So how to identify that? Whenever you wanted to go for such a complementary languages, first step of you, just watch the statement, look at the L, look at the language, list out the members of a language right from the very smallest string. Later, identify what are the strings you can get it in the L dash. What are the kind of strings I can have it in the L dash? Then you go through the options. In every option you try to identify here what it can be exactly generate the L dash values. What option can exactly generate the L dash values? So whatever option can exactly generate the L dash values, you can take it as a granted. Otherwise you can't make it right. So as for this statement, it's very difficult to be right, but contains, I don't use this now. If I take containing 1, 0, 0, my first member of a L is a 1, 0, 0 is the first string. After that, I would say here 0, 1, 0, 0 can be the another string. Later, I can also have a 1, 0, 0, 1 can be the another string here. And so on, I can keep write this. They all are the members in the contents. Then what about you have here, this is a not containing, which says L dash I can say. What is my first string? What is the L dash? You need to identify here. L dash is nothing but everything in the 0, 1 whole star except my L values. What does mean? In the 0, 1 whole star, very first string is here epsilon. Later I can have a 0. Later I can have a 1. I can have a 0, 0. You can have a 0, 1. You can have a 1, 0, 1, 1. Then go on like this. In a length 3, except this, rest of the strings will be present. I mean, it's a 0, 0 will come here, 0, 0, 1 will come here, and so on. You can write it here. Except this remaining all will be presented in the L dash. Correct? So what I am suggesting, who can produce among all these 4 options? This set is very important. And then come back to this. If I take my first option, of course, you maybe says that it will produce 1, 0, 0. That's why you maybe leave this option. And I will also leave this option because this may be containing the 1, 0, 0. But it is not the exact reason for leaving of it. First string I can generate from here, it's a 1, 0, 1. What is the first string you need to be produced as for this statement? I need to be produced epsilon. E cannot produce epsilon. Producing 100 may be the one reason. That is not the exact thing. It has to be produced every string what is not containing the L dash, right? So that's why this is failed. And same story will happen with this. You maybe say that this is also correct answer, but the problem is here, this will never produce epsilon. This will never produce epsilon. And this will not give you one alone. One alone will not come. Right? It will produce the 0. It's fine, but 1 alone you cannot produce. You can produce only 0, 1 I can produce. So, but what you require here, you require epsilon, you require a 1 year, so they are the things you need to be produced. But my C also cannot produce exactly things what I wanted to have it. Same story will happen with this. It may be give you epsilon, fine. It will give you 0. After that it will give you 1, fine. But can I have a 0, 1? Yes, you can have a 0, 1. Can I have a 1, 0? Yes, you can have a 1. Later, can you have a 1, 1 here? Yes, you can have it. If you just look into all these combinations here, everything, epsilon will come here, 0 will come here, 1 will come here, everything whatever you wish to have, everything you can have it from here. So that's why only D is correct answer for this. So while you are searching for the right answers, it is very, very important look into the members what you have in the L, what are the members you have in the L dash. That is going to be the better approach to figure it out what is the exact answers to these kind of questions here. Then just wanted to have here, this is not the MSA, you don't have here any multiple answers here, you have only one right answer. Just watch the next question. Next was the next question here. Yeah, this model is a very, very frequently asking model. I saw this question in 2000 in one of the competitive examination, and in 2014 ISRO exam also I saw the same question, similar model, not the exact question, similar model. And in 2007 in one of the competitive examination also I saw the same question, I mean similar model. Values have been changing. So I just read out the statement of the problem. Consider a DFA over sigma equivalent to a comma b, accepting all strings which have a number of a's, right? Number of a's divisible by 6 and number of b's divisible by 4, and what are the minimum number of states that a DFA will have. So this is the question on the minimum state DFA concept. So what kind of right number of states I can have it in the DFA when you construct for the language A's in a W divisible by 6 and B's in a W are divisible by 4. So the question says answers are here, it's a 8, 14, 15 and 24. So right answer I would say here this is exactly equivalent of this is the 24. Usually you will get it this is by multiplication of 6 into 4 here. But building a finite automata for this problem is a complex story. But what is the benchmark to set your answer as a 24? For this one, we are all seen very, very popular question, that is zeros are divisible by, right, divisible by 2, and ones, right, ones are divisible by 2, right? Just see this statement. Zeros are divisible by, so you say here divisible by 2 and ones also divisible by 2. This is very, very popular question for all of us. I can put it the same problem statement in different way. Even number of zeros and even number of ones. Even number of zeros and even number of ones problem statement, if you look at here, zeros divisible by 2 and ones also divisible by 2. So that's a problem statement. For that we have here very popular automata system. You know there are 4 states here. You will be having this kind of 4 statements, and there is a 0 and 0 here, and we have a 1 and 1. Just look into this. And you know this is very, very popular one, all of you know knows this part. So that's the reason I am not emphasizing more on this. And this is not equivalent of, yes, so this is 0, this is 0, and this is also 1 and 1. Why you got 4 states for this machine? That's very important. He's asking, when you divide number of zeros and ones by 2's, when I divide by number of zeros in this string is a 2, if I divide by the 2, my remainder value equivalent of the 0. If number of ones I divide by the 2, my remainder value again equivalent of the 1 here. So when you divide both zeros and ones by 2 and 2, my remainder combinations must be here 0, 0. That is the perfect value I should get all the time when you divide them by the 2. That is the one always going to be accepted by the automata. Rest of the things it has to be rejected. There are 4 combination of remainders when you divide them by the 2 and 2. The remainder combinations can be 0, 0, 0, 1, right? Similar, it can be 1, 0 and 1, 1. So these are the 4 possible combinations, right? Out of 4 possible combinations of the remainders, only one possible combination is 0, 0. That is the state I am making as a final. Rest of the things are not required for me because they all will be rejected. So one state for one remainder combination. This is the only state which is corresponding to the 0, 0 combination of the remainder. This is the benchmark example to answer this question here. What I selected in this case you have selected number of A's in a W which is divisible by 6 and number of B's in a W which are divisible by 4 here. That says you have to make here the remainder combinations. When you do by the 6, it will give you 0 to the 5. They are the remainders, which means 6 combination of remainders you will get it over there. And when you divide this one by the 4, you will get again 4 more remainders. The combination what you required here, it's only the better combination, 0, 0 combination. All right. So only best thing is what here, when I divide this one by 6 into 4, 24 will come here. That's the reason you are going for the 24, right? That is the best approach, and this is the standard question. This is a standard question and standard answers. So whenever some questions are standard questions, or you can say memory-based questions, for memory-based questions you no need to work anymore. You just remember the answers. When same thing is being repeated, then reproduce the answer. Fine. Then just come back to this question. This is also a very popular question. Length of the string is divisible by n. Means you require here exactly n states. This is also standard question, standard answer. So this is the thing I am just providing you. Before I proceed to the next topic called here context-free language and pushdown automata, I just wanted to share 1 or 2 topics of the CFL and pushdown automata. When you talk about this topic, you will not get direct questions on the pushdown automata. You will get most of the questions from the context-free languages. So that's why you just focus on the context-free language concepts like a identification of the languages, identification of a ambiguous grammars, derivation of a strings from a grammar, derivation of a languages from a given grammar. They are the popular models in examinations. So I just wanted to provide you here in this session 1 or 2 questions on this area so that you will get some confidence on kind of questions what they're going to ask in the examinations. Just look into this. A context-free grammar is ambiguous. So this is a very simple question. When you wanted to say some grammar is a context-free ambiguous grammar, the first thing is what? A grammar that contains useless non-terminals. It produces more than one parse tree for some sentence. It's absolutely right answer. And some productions has a 2 non-terminals side by side on right hand side. If you see here, some productions has a 2 non-terminals side by side on right hand side. And we have the option D, none of the above. The first thing is what do you call? Grammar contains here useless symbols. It doesn't matter. It may be contain the useless symbols or useful symbol, doesn't matter. if you produce here more than one parse tree for any of the sentence produced by the grammar, then I could consider this is going to be ambiguous grammar. That is the only statement. Never ever bother about whether you have your useless symbols or useless productions. It doesn't matter for us as far as this definition is concerned here. And come to the C option. In a C option, you are just providing some production has a two non-terminal side by side. If two productions are side by side, it doesn't matter that you will have your multiple trees. You may be have multiple trees, may not be have multiple trees. As long as you don't produce your multiple trees, even though you have your two non-terminal side by side, doesn't matter for us. Usually, if any grammar contain two non-terminal side by side, we consider those grammars as a operator grammars. So it is not the definition. It is not the definition of the ambiguity. It is the definition of the operator grammar concept. So you have to be good at sometimes the basic fundamentals. The reason to throw this question to you here, some questions are very fundamental level on basic fundamentals or basic foundation. So that's the reason I would suggest you look into the very basic level questions also for the ISRO. For other competitive examinations, you may be looking at the high level, but when it comes to our examination, you have to be focused on very, very fundamental level questions. Then, so that's why option A is absolutely right. Option B is absolutely right here, not the A. So go to the option, right? B is the correct answer of this. And just look into this question. So this is very, very popular question, very long back. C language is a, this is absolutely context sensitive language. So as for the statement, you can say why C language is not a context free. If you look at functions, the functions you cannot define using the CFL mechanism. So functions of a language like a C, you need to use your context sensitive grammar. That's why Fortran was the oldest language that is context free, but your C, I can consider this is a context sensitive language. This is also very fundamental level question. So I could say here this C is the correct answer, not the B. C is the correct answer for us. Right? So just look into this. Similar way, look at the last question on this one. This is the common model they are asking in the examinations. What they ask in examination means they'll give you the grammar and provide you one or two statements related to the grammar. Same statements you can see here. The statement number one, G is ambiguous grammar. And statement number two, G produces all strings with equal number of A's and equal number of B's here. And three, G is a context free. Yes, G is a context free. And what is asking here? Which statements are expressing all the true statements? Just see the true statements. What are the true statements among all these three? 1 only, B 1 and 3 only, C is 2 and 3 only, D 1, 2 and 3. So you have to identify here among all these three options are three statements, which statement combinations are here absolutely true. Just watch the grammar. When you look at the grammar, what you can identify, definitely you would say this is ambiguous grammar. Why ambiguous grammar? This will give you one of the string, I can say epsilon, I can have it. For epsilon, you can have a two trees. S will give you directly that. Or else this will give you SS. This is epsilon, this is epsilon. This is epsilon. It is true. Later, if I take any other thing like other statement, what about G produces all strings with equal number of A's and equal number of B's? All strings. Can I produce all strings of length equal number of A's and B's? If you take this one here, can you have a B, B, A? Can you have this? So can I have this? Yeah, if I substitute this one here, A, B will come. After that, if I substitute here, this will come here. You got it? Similar way, can I have the A, B, B string? That is also one of the string as for the statement. If you look at here A, B, B string, this we will never be produced. A, B. Remember, double A, double B, you cannot produce from here. But problem statement says here it will produce all the strings with equal number of A's and equal number of B's. That's not true at all. So that's the reason this statement is fail. It's not the true statement, it's a false statement. But remember, whatever it will produce, it contains here equal number of A's and equal number of B's. But that is not equivalent to all the strings what you get it with the equal number of A's and B's. That's a different story again. Grammar may be produce the strings whatever have that has got equal combination of A's and B's. That is not the interest here. Is it producing all possible combinations? That's very, very important. But you can't produce. You can't produce it. So one of the string I said here A, B, B, that you can produce. Yeah, G is a context free. Yeah, absolutely it's a context free. But it's true, but the language if you look at, this is going to be like a AB plus BA whole star. It's going to be, in fact, regular language. But regular language, it has been expressed as a context-free grammar. Regular languages you can also write as regular grammars, that is also possible. But every regular language I can also write as a context-free, I can also write as a next level version of the grammar. It doesn't matter. So only right answers for all of us here, only two choices are there. One is about statement number 1, and second one is about statement number 3. So they are the only right answers. So these are the simple models you can expect. After that, you try to understand some questions you can have it on the concept of decidability and undecidability. The questions on the decidability or undecidability is absolutely direct questions. It's a direct questions. You will never have any trickiness. So that's why I'm not emphasizing more on that. So that's the reason you can just simply prepare on that. So I hope these all tips will be very, very helpful for all of you. And from our institute, we have been providing here lot of stuff, lot of materials, lot of different kinds of products are available from our institute. So you try to use all these products, and a great opportunity for all of you what's available from our products here. So from our institute, you can find here one of the most prominent product, or you can say most wanted product is here ACE online platform. So you can have here self-paced program is available for all the competitive examinations. So this is one of the beautiful product, you can all buy it. And we also having about the quick reviews for the GATE products. So that is also one of the most efficient product, and when you don't have the enough time to prepare for yourself for the entire examination, then it's one of the product you can use here and quickly review the entire concept, and you can become very, very successful. And also we have a combination of the GATE as well as the ISRO. This is the one of the product is available, and this is the entire booklet whatever we are providing, that's going to be cover both the questions like a previous exams related to the ISRO and GATE. So another product of our institute is this. Then finally I would say all the products not only in the English, also available in the Hindi versions. Make use of this. Finally, I would request you try to go through our website and identify the different products, and you have a lot of coupons, and they have been offering you a lot of kind of different kinds of offers with the different vouchers has been provided, that all you can make use of it. And you can provide this is one of the product which is available in the website. You can go through that, you can buy them in the online and offline, whatever mode you feel more comfortable, you can do that job. So this is the one of the product is available in the Amazon as well as our website. You can directly buy and then make use of this facility, right? And fifth, you are going to be having one more session on the compiler design by the Dr. Ramesh. So he is one of our prominent faculty, and as have a vast experience in this field of the GATE coaching and competitive examinations, trainings and activities. So coming up course is going to be on the compiler design. So don't miss that opportunity and attend for that course. I wish you very best to all the aspirants of the ISRO. Good luck, have a great time, and good night.